I've said this before. No matter how good a dancer you are, you must know when to leave the stage. There are too many dancers in Africa who think I'm the only dancer in town. And until God calls me, I'm not leaving the stage. Such dancers will be removed by men. And that is how I explained the coup d'etats that are coming here. In 1964, talking about the military interventions in civilian government, this is what Kwame Nkrumah said. The military have no business interfering with civilian governments. But if civilian governments misbehave, it may become necessary for a short period to disrupt their agenda so that they can midwife a new dispensation. It is in this context that we must understand the military interventions. But remember that true democracy requires and demands the eternal vigilance of the people. Because Africa has also seen a situation where military leaders remove their uniform and adorn suits, and lo and behold, like Paul and Saul, they become civilians themselves. And therefore, it is important, even as we celebrate these military coups, to remind ourselves that they are merely midwives. And midwives are neither the father, nor the mother, nor the child. Their duty is to ensure that all the three are happy. And we, the population, must be eternally vigilant. And that is why, therefore, when we talk about democracy, we must ask ourselves, what are we doing wrong? And we must also ask the question, are coups d'etats only mounted by men and women in uniform? No. I've seen coups mounted by judiciaries in Africa. I've seen coups being mounted by the political class in Africa. When people engage in sophistry in interpreting constitution, those are also coups d'etats. And I would want us, therefore, as we talk about strengthening democracy, we must also talk about strengthening institutions. Whether it is in Kenya, whether it is in Zimbabwe, whether it is in Nigeria, whether it is in Ghana, we must have a culture of respecting institutions. Sometimes in Africa we behave as if institutions work on their own motion. No. Institutions are as strong as the men and women who occupy them. If you have wrong men and wrong women in office, no matter how strong the institution you claim to be strong, it will not perform, because the history of nature is one: garbage in, garbage out. And if that is the case, therefore, we who are gathered here and talking about governance, this is serious business. What we are talking about here is serious business. I want you to look at Africa now with me. In Sudan, in Khartoum, because of bad governance and absence of democracy, no schooling going on in Khartoum. If you are a university professor, no university to lecture at. There is no agriculture going on there. There are no health services going on there in Khartoum. The things that they built, they are destroying. It will take generations to rebuild Sudan. We are talking about development. In the health sector, all the children that ought to have been vaccinated will not be vaccinated, which means that all the diseases that we had conquered will come back again, so that the health burden will be that heavy. No food is being planted, so that we'll once again be importing rice and wheat from Ukraine, which is at war. Look at the Sahel now. Mali is de facto divided into two. No agriculture going on. So that you will be importing chicken from Brazil. Chicken from Brazil. Chicken. No agriculture. I'm talking about development, brothers and sisters. If you are sick because there is no research going on in our universities, no research. We receive medicine from India, from China, and we take the medicine by faith because we do not know what they contain. Our bureaus of standardization have no standards for these things. And if you doubt me, only recently we had syrup imported from India. How many children did it kill in the Gambia? We have no standardization. So we are talking about serious business in Africa. Go to the Democratic Republic of Congo, the eastern part of it, over 120 armed groups. The busiest airspace in the continent of Africa. The rest of the world is taking our resources. There is a new scramble for Africa. Today, Africa is a theater for other worlds. If the British have gone and they have not gone, if the French have gone and they have not gone, if the Portuguese have gone and they have not gone, if the Belgians have gone and they have not gone, Chinese are also here. They are here. Building roads, building stadia. The Turks are here. The Qataris are here. The Russians are here. And yet Africans somehow believe that when we remove one slave master and we bring another slave master, then it's better. So we hear Africans praising Wagner in Russia. African intellectuals. I think the president